Hello, all of you awesome folks out there. It is finally time again to do some grinding in World of Warcraft Classic. So, couple things before I jump into that. Because, well, few things have happened between the previous episode and this one. For one, I am a little higher level if you look at the tool type. So I'm a little higher level by now. That's the reason for that is because I have basically had like very short amounts of time when I can actually play the game, and so I haven't actually recorded. So it's like, hey, I have half an hour. All right, let's just grind a little during that half an hour, and then log out and be done with it. So I haven't recorded anything for those bets. Also, I think did some other things like such as sorting out my first aid, for example. I am at the mage view bandages now and such. And here we are in Feralas. Now, what I need to do is find myself a nice place to grind. I did these 2 levels so far, mostly on the wood paws here. There was somebody who was able to repair my stuff, right? You can repair my stuff, right? Thank you. Brilliant red cloak. No thank you. Too expensive. Do you sell anything of interest? You sell you sell a whole lot of very nice food recipes. We'll have to remember that for later on. Now, the idea here is for me to find a good place to grind some beasts finally. If I wanna do an actual, like a proper grinding recording here, like my plan is, I wanna find a nice spot where I can walk in a circle and grind beasts. Why beasts? Because I still have skinning at this point. I still have skinning, and frankly, beasts are amazing for grinding. Most of the time, various. Maybe I just jump down here. Maybe I just do that and have a look around. Beasts are not usually very contested because not everybody who does grinding has skinning, and so most prefer to grind humanoids for these are level 44s here, 43. Maybe I need to do a little lower level stuff still, huh? Probably better. Probably better if I go into the opposite direction then. Into the direction of the wood paws and do like there should be like level 40 to 40 something. Oh, there is still wood paws here as well. Yeah, like these are the guys I have basically been grinding, these level 40 to 41 wood paws around here. But it's on this side here of the camp where you can also find a bunch of wood paws. So I've been basically jumping between the two, but depending where, like, has there been other players there or not. So yeah, as said, it kind of depends on like because a good grinding spot sort of depends on being able to pull monsters in a fairly fast fashion, and it also kind of depends on not getting ads in your pulls. And for example, this wood paw camp, like right here, it is way too easy to get ads over there, especially at level 40. So that sucks a little. However, this side there is a whole bunch of beasts in this general area, so I should be able to just pull a bunch of beasts like one by one, just walking a circle around here, and keep doing that. They're probably doing that for another, like, these are level 42s. Yeah, this will work perfectly. All right. Okay. let's get on with it then. Yeah. Let's get on with the grinding then, shall we? On with the grinding. At this point, I should actually, come to think of it, I should have like a level and a half. Yeah, I have a level and a half of rested XP as well at this point, and I just barely hit level 42 last time I was able to do this. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do for a couple hours here. Just gonna grind some monsters and talk random stuff while I'm doing it. Random useless stuff, and also sometimes just shut up and grind because it's fun. And I suppose it is sort of a good time again to mention to folks why am I doing this? Why am I doing this whole grinding thing instead of questing? Like there is a whole lot of quests here in Feralas and whatnot. The biggest reason for that, frankly, is gold and the simplicity of it. Because this also reminds me that this thing is starting to fall behind. I probably need to have a look-see of like getting a replacement for this thing. In like a couple levels probably. We all like different things, and for me, like a very good example was that like when I had those like, hey, I only have like half an hour of time to play the game. What do I do for leveling? I'll grind mobs. The reason, the very basic reason for it is simply that there is like let's say I start a quest. I start a quest line. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this quest now, right? I start doing that, but then I'm running out of time, right? Because I have very limited time, and I'm like, well, I'm not done with this quest, and especially when you come into quests where you have certain segments you need to do, or especially with the occasional quest where you have a like a time limit or whatever. Like suddenly you have to do a whole heck of a lot more than you know next time because you may have had to abandon it in middle, and so you didn't finish the entire quest line. You may have to start from a earlier step. So that's part of the problem I have with questing when I have limited time to play, and so I don't really like to quest when I have very limited time to play, because grinding is so much simpler. I don't have to worry about any of the quest steps or having enough time to complete steps for a quest or the entire quest itself. All I have to do is go out there, kill a few mobs, go back in, you know? It's pretty basic. And it actually works very well for leveling up. The other big draw for this for me, obviously, well, I guess not obviously, but the other draw for me for this whole grinding thing is that for the most part it is actually faster than questing, especially when areas are getting very populated by players. Because you may end up spending like 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, competing for quest mobs, for specific quest mobs and so on. In that time, how many monsters could you have killed if you were grinding? And instead you're just trying to finish one quest. Or, not quest mobs, but for example, quest where you need to gather something. and you're competing against people for the objectives of, like, you know, these items you need to pick up and whatever. So from that point of view, I prefer grinding. I personally, I just do prefer the grinding thing, from that particular reason. And of course there is something to be said with skinning, since I have skinning right now, and whenever I kill a beast and then I skin it, I get extra leather, which helps me make a whole heck of a lot of money, because just rendering thick leather gives 3 silver per thick leather, right? This is how I basically funded my mount in a really easy fashion, and I again have about, what is that, 48 gold between my characters right now, which is basically this character and my auction house character. And a little bit of money on another 2 characters who are holding some items I will probably need once I hit level 60. Holding on to some cooking materials and so on, like, because for example out of here I'm definitely gonna save all these red wolf mates, because I still need to level my cooking. So yeah, and that is another like get it done on the way, essentially, because I have saved all the meat I have gotten from all the animal kills so far. Like I think I gave some away to a guildie and whatnot, but for the most part I have saved all of it. Which is to say that my cooking leveling should go just fine once I hit level 60 and really start getting to it. I shouldn't need that much else than what I have already had. Also, I am doing this a little too efficiently at the moment, as you probably have noticed. I still have spirit tap going on, and I get when I get basically to full mana. So probably do more mind flays between kills. Like this, I get full mana between pulls. I don't mind. Like, priest is a very. I like priest grinding from the point of view. It's very. You can decide on, like, do you want to do this in a very efficient manner, or do you want to do this in a very try to speed it up and whatnot. I really enjoy that, because you have the choice. It's a very safe grinding. If not the fastest grinding by a long shot, but it's very safe grinding. And this seems like a very actual useful way to go about things. As in, I am looking at the grinding route I have going on here, because this seems like this seems very workable right now. I started over there, and mobs should be respawning on that side already. On the other side of this thing. Hopefully that is. Oh, nice. Find more herbs as well. Should probably be able to do next level I should be able to move over to the other side with more beasts. And I can probably do up to level 45 over there just fine on the level 43s and 44s. That should work just fine. Especially since now right now I have like so much rested XP. This is gonna be it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna get me a level up or 2 just nicely from the rested XP. Oh, come on, stop resisting my mind flay. Silly thing. So yeah, those are basically my reasons for grinding. If you were interested in that and well, hadn't watched my previous episodes where I was talking about that, where I was like answering questions of why am I grinding instead of questing. There is the whole question of like reputation, obviously. No, wait, where is this thing? There we go. Oh, god dang it! I'm just missing a little bit of herbalism from being able to get that. Yeah, 225. Oh well. Anyway, there is the whole like question of like having reputation and whatnot. But you have to remember, in Classic there are two cutoff points for like general reputations, and with general reputations I'm talking about these things. The first cutoff point is at Honored, and I have Honored with the two factions where I really needed it. Honored gives you 10% discount on things. There is no progressive discounts in Classic. There was none in Vanilla. Like in Balfour Azeroth currently, you get a like increasing like first 5% and then 10% and 15% when you go from friendly to honored to revered to exalted, all of this stuff. So you basically get an increased discount on things with that particular faction. That does not happen in Classic. You only get 10% discount at Honored, and that's all you get from Reputation when it comes to discounts. The other break-off point is at Exalted, where you can suddenly buy that particular race's racial mount. And if you want a specific racial mount, then yes, you do need the Reputation at that point. However, I am completely fine with being on a Raptor. And eventually the mount of choice very likely is going to become the Frostwolf Howler, as in the wolf from Alterac Valley reputation. It's probably going to become the mount of choice for me. I really like that mount. So yeah. So that said, I have the two reputations I really need. Like, Ogrimmar is the most common reputation where you have to buy anything. And Darkspear Trolls aren't that far behind as when you are in Ogrimmar area. There is obviously the some other stuff. Like, when you go to Undercity side of the world, then you need the Undercity reputation. But we can get that to honor the levels sort of easily, so it's not really a problem. So that, like, I don't worry about this. Like, I did enough quests to get these two to honored, and that's all I needed, right? That is all I needed from there. Then of course there is something to be said about grinding the level. I've mentioned this before, but I'm gonna talk about it again. One of those, like, get it done while you are leveling anyways. Like two of the factions, Timbermaw and Argent Dawn, because you can start both of those at around level 50. Well, like, by going into Western Plaguelands, getting your Argent Dawn trinket and so on, or starting to do the whole Timbermaw, you know, grind in oh bloody well, what? Okay, how did I forget the name of that zone, right? God dang it, this place, Velwood, that's the place, okay? Alright, anyway. So you can grind those two reputations while you are leveling up, and if you need recipes and stuff from those reputations, getting that done, like getting it started and getting a lot of that done, but prior to hitting level 60 is a very useful thing to do. At least this is my view on it, because it is less actual grinding of random things I need to do at level 60, whereas at level 60 I can focus on the other aspects, such as actually running the dungeons for the, you know, for good gear and so on, instead of spending my time doing those grinds. So, for example, as soon as I hit level 50, it's likely I'm going to start on those two grinds. I don't with my planned professions and whatnot, I don't really need that much Timbermaw. reputation, but I do want a bunch of Argent Dawn reputation. I do want a bunch of that. Also to note that the Argent Dawn reputation is required to buy some of the best water and food in the game. Just pointing that out. Just point that out. So yeah, I'll probably try and get a whole heck of a lot of that done between levels 50 and 60. So that I do need less of them past level 60. That would be really nice. And both of those reputations are basically like Timbermore especially. It's basically all grind, right? Because there is no dungeons you can run for Timbermore reputation or anything of the sort. You basically just have to do, you know, repeatable quests and grinding of creatures to get the Timbermore rep. Argent Dawn is kind of the same way. You can definitely argue that you can do Argent Dawn by running dungeons and so on, and I agree with that. You can do that, more of that at level 60, but at levels you can start the Argent Dawn and be you know, get a bunch of it done prior to level 60 if you start it around level 50, which is actually really nice. So for anybody out there still about to hit level 50 and you have certain professions planned, check out the reputation rewards from Argent Dawn and Timbermore, and figure out, okay, do I want any of these? Because if you do, you might really want to consider grinding your way between levels 50 and 60 instead of questing to get those reputations. Well, not necessarily done, because you won't be able to just, you know, finish all of them between those times, but get them at least, you know, started and going along. Saves you a whole heck of a lot of time at level 60. You get this stuff done on the way there, and that is something that's sort of the sort of efficiency I personally look for when I do my leveling. It's not about just about like how fast you can level. I'm not interested in the hey, I will be the first level 60 on the server. I'm not exactly interested in that. Ooh, those are nice gauntlets. Those should sell pretty well. Ah, nice. Thick wolf hide, not worth it. This is vendor trash. Plus 13 shadow spell damage. That is very tempting to put on. Probably sell it, actually. Probably sell it. Very tempting to put on, but probably actually sell it. Let's be honest. Oh, you resisted my mind blast. That's not fair. That's not fun. I have to recast a mind blast. Well, don't have to, but want to. Anyway. As I was saying about the leveling efficiency, like, it's just my thing, but I know that there are others who look for the same type of a thing, where it's like, it's not about the speed leveling for me, like doing things fast. It is about doing things efficiently so that the actual end goals are met partially during partially during the leveling. Like, very good example are these reputations. These reputations here. I got these 2 honored while I was leveling. Right? I didn't get Thunderbluff and Undercity, granted. I will probably have to do those at later date to also get the 10% discounts on everything, because that overall will save up 10% of money spent on various areas. But I didn't need either of these while leveling. I needed this one for 10% discount on the mount stuff, and this one I needed because most of the vendors I've been buying water out of happen to be Orgrimmar vendors. So yeah. Also of notice is that I still have over 80 bottles of level 35 water. I probably should use that during this grind actually to try and you know, have a little bit less water by the time I hit level 45 and can move over to using level 45 water. Just a little bit of a thought. Wait, how's the... Well, rested XP being crazy, huh? 183 mobs to a level. What? Like, seriously? Oh, it's a snarler. Hello there. Let's wait for my spirit tap and then let's kill Snarler! Right, let's see how tough you are. A little tougher than the regular versions. Oh yeah. There we go. What did it drop? Nature spell damage, leather shoulders. Not that great. Not that great. Alright, let's have a drink. And I'll have an actual drink. Alright, so dungeon-wise, there is probably one dungeon I wanna do before I hit level 60. Likely a one dungeon I wanna do before I hit level 60. And then at level 60 I'm going to be, you know, I'm swapping into a healing spec and doing a whole heck of a lot of dungeons. But the thing is, between this level, like 42 and 60 or so, there really aren't that many dungeons I am like interested in running for various reasons. Like the whole BRD and whatnot, I can do BRD at level 60. I don't need to do that at lower level than that. That's like I don't care. Fine. Blackrock Deaths BRD. Then of course there is things like, well, Dire Maul is not open at the time when I'm recording this, so we can't I can't even talk about Dire Maul, and Dire Maul anyway is level 60 dungeon. But we basically have Zul'Farrak. I have kind of outleveled Aldaman at this point, kind of, but we have Morodon, Zul'Farrak, technically Aldaman, and Sunken Temple and Blackrock Deaths. Those are sort of the dungeons between me, like which I can hit between levels, between the level 42 and level 60, right? Before I hit level 60 and get access to all of the endgame dungeons. Out of those dungeons, I don't really have any reason to go into Morodon. I don't really have any reason to go to Sunken Temple. And basically the only reason to go to Blackrock Depths would be some endgame gearing in various places. And so I probably will skip Blackrock Depths. I'll have to have a another look of like, is there anything at all in BRD that I actually want at level 60? Which the answer to that is probably not really. Maybe one item? Maybe one item? Anyway. The only dungeon I am actually interested in is Zul'Farrak. because it gives the amount speed trinket out of a quest comes from Zul'Farrak, and that's the only instance I am actually interested in running between these levels and so forth. Part reason for that is dungeons make it a little slower to level. Like in general, of course, if you get a if you manage to set up a proper, you know, dungeon farming group and whatnot with people who are all on board and for that and who kind of know what they are doing, yeah, you can get fast XP out of dungeons. But in all honesty, I just don't see myself doing anything of the sort. And also there starts coming a little bit of the issues. Like when we start talking about dungeons like BRD and not probably not so not so much Zul'Farrak yet. But once we get to the Sunken Temple BRD levels of things, the shadow spec is starting to really show up, as in the fact that this is not a healing spec, and so the healing is going to become a little bit more difficult when we get to the higher level stuff. To the point where it's like, okay, I have to really work for it to really heal. But the thing is, overall, in the end, like I should be able to heal Zul'Farrak just fine. I'm thinking and it's not saying that I can't heal those instances. That's not what I'm saying. All right. You know, Shadow Spec can heal all those instances. All right. It's just the fact that going there as a healer in Shadow Spec is just gonna put extra pressure on the group to make less mistakes. And every single dungeon run, mistakes are gonna be made. That's just the nature of the thing. And it starts getting to the point where somebody pulls an extra pack or whatever, I probably won't be able to heal through it, right? As opposed to an actual, like, you know, healing spec. So that's one reason, and I am definitely not going to burn my money swapping specs back and forth between healing spec and between, you know, shadow spec for solo leveling. So I am not gonna do that. So I'm probably just skipping those dungeons and you know, never mind. We can do dungeons at level 60 when I go full healing spec and can just, you know, do the dungeons at level 60. That's at least the plan. That is the plan. Oh yeah, while I'm doing this, we might just as well have a look-see here. Oh, I have Sunken Temple open for some reason. BRD. This was the thing which I needed to have a look-see at. Like, is there anything here that really that I really need at level 60? Because if there isn't anything I really need at level 60, which I can't get from either profession, as in tailoring, because I will level tailoring once I hit level 60, or I can't get from like a replacement from an actual level 60 instance, such as, for example, Blackrock Spire, whether lower or upper, or can get from Stratholme or Solomons, then I mean, if I can get the replacements from any of those dungeons, then I have no reason to run Blackrock Deaths at all. So let's have a look-see here. None of that is stuff I really need or want anyway, right? I'm not planning on going enchanting, so I have no reason to get this. Smoking Heart of the Mountain is one thing. Oh yeah, something I the what where was the okay, there is a fairly nice cape, cloak, but the cloak being level what was that, 47? Not really a not really a thing to wear at level 60 anymore. So we can probably ignore this thing. Yeah, level 47 stuff. This is just not things I will want at level 60, right? Because I can get replacements very likely from other places for that stuff. The nice thing about MMORPG combat like this, I don't really have to, you know, see my target or anything else on the screen. All I have to see is this, actually their health bar, and so on. So I can do things like look at other things. All right, not going blacksmithing. Don't care. Nothing here for me either. Chance to hit with spells by 1%. That's sort of nice. This and this. But I mean, those are level 49 stuff again. Probably not what I wanna be wearing at level 60. Probably not. And now somebody is going to ask the question, why don't you just look at the, you know, best in slot lists? Because some of those lists are actually really bad for actually getting gear. Alright? Well, I'm gonna go through this list and then I'm gonna explain what I'm talking about there. Alright. Let's grind another long-tooth runner. Pyromancer. Alright, you drop something nice. Yeah, you drop a very nice robe. I mean, plus 16 spirit, that is a very nice robe. Then jump up on Fire Breath, Dark Coffer. Ooh, there is a nice, very nice maze over there. Very nice maze, actually. Dark Iron Ring. Okay. Wait, what? Where are all the mobs? Am I grinding too fast here? I might be. Yeah, the stuff is just respawning right now. Which is to say that, let's go loot that. Or gather it. Not loot it, but gather it so we can get herbalism up. Do you want to get 300 herbalism? Red wolf meat. Ooh, more of that. Fantastic stuff. Okay, I need 4 more points of herbalism and then we can gather sungrass. That will be quite nice. That will be quite nice. Okay, let's finish looking at this. Boreal Mantle. Frost spells and effects, absolutely nothing for me there. Nothing else for me there. I mean, looking at that. Okay then. I mean, it's workable, sure, but it has like no spirit, which makes it pretty bad for healing item. Whereas this is actually very nice. It's even level 50, so there is that. Balgore. Fire spells and effects. Don't care. royal decorated armor. Healing down punch spells, basically same pants, right? Where is the healer gear for that? I mean, if it doesn't have spirit, I probably don't want that at level 60 for actual healing. Because spirit is the stat which gives me mana regeneration. Whereas the intelligence, what intelligence does, in case you weren't familiar with how stats work, intelligence only gives basically spell crit and mana pool. So it doesn't actually make me heal for a bigger number. Transmute fire to earth. That would be nice if I was going for alchemy. I may eventually go for alchemy when I have another character to do my you know, farming with. That's gonna take a while though, but eventually I'm probably going to level a DPS character to become to do farming with, like herbalism and all of that with, so I can make this priest be nothing but a full mode crafter, because once I swap to healing spec, I'm likely never going to swap out of it again. So I probably don't want to really do the healing, as in I don't really want to be farming all that much stuff myself, because healing spec is not that good for it. Ambassador Flame Lash. Oh, that is real nice though. Stamina Spirit, Fire Resistance, that's also a really nice cloak for Molten Core. Burst of Knowledge, okay, that might be something we want. This might be one of the few things we actually may want out of here. Yeah. So BRD overall, it has maybe 2 items I might want? Possibly? Maybe. Possibly. So, oh, yeah. I meant to talk about the lists, right? Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of those lists. Now, I have not seen all the dang lists, alright? I have not looked at all of them available online and whatnot, what people have come up with, but I have seen a few. And there are some really strange choices there. Not only like stats wise, not only that, but as in often those best in slots lists, what they do have in them most of the time. I mean, it's called best in slot, right? So what they do is they dig out very strange items which you have basically very little chance to actually get. Let's just put it that way. I mean, yeah, that item might be absolutely be best in slot, but the chances that you actually get that item might be so low that you might just as well forget about it. And I have no interest in a best in slot list which only lists item which are like, hey, this item from this particular boss, especially if the boss is really difficult to you know, actually farm in groups. Like it is in, for example, in a dungeon and off the main beaten path, and it only drops an item for you. And it doesn't drop anything useful for anybody else. Getting the boss done might be very difficult in various dungeon runs and whatnot, and so on. And then if that item is like, hey, this item is 2.5% drop chance or whatever, actually getting that item is going to take way too long. Because if you start calculating those numbers together, you start calculating the numbers together for like, let's do some very basic math right here, right now, on these things. All right. Let's say it takes you an hour to run a dungeon. This is obviously downgraded from what it takes, for example, to run the entirety of Blackrock Depths from beginning to the end, all the bosses. All right, that's going to be way more than an hour. But let's say the dungeon takes an hour to run. You have 2.5% chance. Let's upgrade that. Let's say it's a 5% drop chance. To get this particular item you really want. Alright? Even if we make it even 10% chance to get that item. Alright? It takes you at a 10% chance, it's just 1 in 10, and that way it is 10 hours of grinding on average to get the item, right? To be almost guaranteed to get it is 10 hours of doing that one instance. That is 10 hours purely of doing the instance. It does not include anything else. It does not include the time spent traveling to and from the instance. Time included actually getting the groups to run the instance, and so on. Because not everybody has the possibility and the ability of like doing these instances with friends, with guildmates, and so on. Sometimes you might be online at times where, you know, friends are not, guildmates are not, so on, where you're like, hey, I would like to run this dungeon, let's see if I can get a group for it, so on. And all of these things, they compound together to make that timer to be, like, even if we say 10%, 1 hour, and go at starting from 10 hours, we can easily, you know, 150% to 200% that time, if we add all the travel time and everything else together. Easily. 15-20 hours, alright? Okay, that doesn't sound too bad, does it? Right? But that's just one item. What if you take a look at a different item setup, at an item setup, an entire item setup from a dungeon, a different dungeon. Let's say it takes an hour again to run this other dungeon. Just, you know, use those same numbers. But from this particular dungeon, you are not going to get a best in slot for any of your item, for any of your slots, right? You don't get a best in slot item for any of your slots, but you get something that is pretty close. Not the best, but maybe in the top 5. Maybe something like that. Maybe in the top 5 for multiple slots. And you have like 10% chance to get each of those items from the bosses. Isn't this much better time spent? If you compare the two, you have one dungeon where you are trying to get one specific item and it takes you 1 hour of run, not including all the travel times and whatnot. Or you have another dungeon where you have the chances to get multiple items which fit. They might not be quite as good, but you have the chance to get something which is kind of close. And you can try and get multiples from that particular instance. One of those is like, yeah, I am trying to optimize to the fullest, and I have all the time in the world to spend on doing that. And the other one is, well, I don't have all the time in the world. I can get pretty close and actually get there nice and efficiently. This is one thing all the best of things usually completely leave out, which is why I don't tend to look at those lists. Why I don't particularly care. I know about what stats I am looking for. In endgame healing gear, the stats are fairly simple. You are looking for spirit. You are looking for healing, plus healing and spirit. You're looking for those two things. If an item has one or the other, or preferably both, you want that item. And then you look at the dungeon list, like, okay, Atlas loot. That's one reason why I have Atlas loot here. If we start looking through, let's say, let's dig out one of the endgame instances here. Like, let's start with Solomon's right here, right? Solomon's. If we start looking through here and figuring out the stuff. All right, there is a necklace here with spirit. Necklace here with plus 15 spirit and some intelligence on top of it, so extra mana. Because the intelligence is a very nice side addition. It's not the main stat, but you know it's one of those like, yeah, it's nice to have a stat to get a little bit bigger mana pool, right? But mostly the stat spread is very simple. Looking for spirit, looking for plus healing. So there's a necklace here with quite a bit of spirit. Alright? What else do we have? Well, we have a waistband, which we don't want. If there is any other spellcaster, as in clothwearer, in the group, this is going to them. Hit chance. Don't care about hit chance. Right? Alright, let's look at the next one. Well, intelligence spirit. Okay then. Possible. Intelligence, spirit, and some resistances. Another possible. Not very good, but a possibility. Alright. Damage done by shadow spells and effects. Not for healing. Nope. And nope. Restores 8 health. Nope. There is a wand with intelligence. Well, could definitely be using getting that. That seems reasonable. There are 2 items out of the pool right now, which could be useful. Because a wand with stats, even if it's inferior stat, like it is not spirit, it's not plus healing, but wand with stats is pretty damn nice to have. Neither of these are for healing. Well, would you look at that? There is a item we definitely want. So that is a third one. This is a possibility. Not really though. Damage done by frost spells and effects. Don't care. Don't care. Not really. Possibly. Like a possible, but not really. And then we have a whole heck of a lot of stuff. Damage and healing. Well, shoulder with damage and healing and intelligence. Right. There is plus 12 spirit there. Possible. Plus 7 intelligence ring. Not awful. And say, ooh, plus 14 spirit. Not bad. Not bad. And then of course there is some other stuff here with a possibility. Another plus 14 spirit. And this fella plus 20 spirit on headmaster's charge is not awful in the slightest. Well, robe of the void for a warlock, right? Devout crown, 15 spirit for a headpiece, and a bunch of other things as well. So just looking at that, there are something. There is a good amount of items in just purely in Solomon's. You can like, hey, these might not be the very best in particular slot, but just running this one instance, I have a chance to. I have fairly high chance on first run of Solomon's to get something that is actually useful. And that's what I am more looking for, because if I spend like how if you look at Balfour Azeroth, the whole gear score thing, you can kind of dig out the same issues with like you can kind of look at the whole gear score and apply the same mentality here in essence. What I mean about that is somebody with a one like 300, somebody with one 400 gear score item, and the rest being 255 or let's say the rest being 300 to 325, and then they have that one 400 gear score item. Their average gear score is somewhere way below the 400, right? And the same thing kind of applies here. I will rather have four decent enough pieces of gear than have one which is best in slot from my time spent on getting all of that stuff. Alright. And yeah, I know I am making this very convoluted, like, drawn-out talk out of this instead of trying to make it nice and concise and explaining it in very few words, but the thing is, I might just as well talk about it in a weird and whatnot fashion while I'm doing this grinding anyways. You know, explain my view out in how I rationalize it to myself. 228 herbalism, by the way. Need a couple more points from somewhere, and then we can start picking up that sungrass. So when it comes to oh bloody well, what's that? Professions. What happens with professions for this character at level 60? So first of all, herbalism is gonna be gone when I hit level 60. I am probably going to level the herbalism to 300, simply from the point, simply to try and make some gold out of it. All right, that's basically the main goal. Level it to 300, then drop it, so that I can make some gold out of the herbalism while doing that. And it's going to be replaced by tailoring, and I'm going to hold on to the skinning for a while, because I'm going to be leveling tailoring, and you need a lot of leather for a whole bunch of recipes. You need a bunch of leather, so I'm going to hold on to this skinning to do that. For very good example for it is the rune cloth bag recipe, which requires rugged leather actually to make. So you can make 14 slot, basic 14 slot bags, require rugged leather, all of that. So that's something I do want to do. Alright. Not bad. Not bad actually. Not bad in the slightest when it comes to this whole XP grind thing here. Anyways, Anyway. Do want to get all of that stuff done. So that's that's the main reason I'm holding on to the skinning instead and dropping the herbalism instead. Now you could argue, you could definitely make the argument that that the like just from monetary value, holding on to the herbalism, gathering herbs, selling them, I should be able to buy all the leather, right? But you can make that argument easily enough, and I would absolutely follow you on that. Like, that's the other way to do it. However, what I'm the thing is for me from that point of view is that I am planning to eventually level another character where I do herbalism plus alchemy on that particular character all the way to level 60, with the simple goal being to become an alchemist, to feed mana potions and elixirs and so on for this character for raiding and dungeons and all of that. But for the most part, leather sells for less money than herbs do. So holding on to the herbalism and simply gathering a bunch of herbs to make make money to buy the leather for the tailoring, yes, I understand that sort of mindset as well. I absolutely understand that, and to an extent, that is something I was also thinking of first doing. But the end goal here is to once I have my tailoring level to 300. The end goal is to drop both the herbalism and the skinning, and instead go tailoring plus alchemy on this one as well. So that I have 2 transmute cooldowns, because once I get another character level to 60 for the whole herbalism alchemy character, I have 2 transmute cooldowns at that point. And I have 2 characters who can make potions and so on. The obviously what I could also do with that other character then is to make that character into the full mode farming character, and simply not pick up alchemy on it at all, and simply pick up alchemy on this particular character. Like, make this be tailoring alchemy, and the other character is gonna become, like, let's say, skinning herbalism, and it's going to stay skinning herbalism all the way to level 60, and going to stay there even at level 60 still, to do the farming while this character does the crafting. Like, yeah, that is the other possibility, which I am still giving some consideration to. But I have kind of figured out one reason to keep the skinning on here for the moment instead of the herbalism at level 60, because the skinning allows me to still make some money out of just grinding mobs, and I know at level 60 I will still need to grind some mobs purely for while I get the a few reputations done and so on. So, like for example, Timbermaw and whatnot. I'll still juggle around with it and have a better look at it once I'm getting close and to level 60, because I need to look at the economy on the server obviously before I make any of these decisions. Like, how much more expensive is our herbs as opposed to or the leather? Like, can I really feasibly just hold on to herbalism plus tailoring, use the herbalism to make the money and buy the leather, and then level the tailoring with the money made from the herbalism, instead of holding on to the skinning, which would be the simplest guaranteed method to get the leather I need for leveling the tailoring, and especially for all the recipes which I wanna make extra of, like for example rune cloth bags. I know I want to make extra of those. Probably not for selling, but also for leveling some of my alts, like being able to just put on like 14 slot bags on the alts I might want to level would be quite useful, right? Help their leveling out. Okay, so yeah, like the original plan is to be. I guess the word I should be using is self-sufficient, which the tailoring plus skinning is going to give me, because the skinning gives me the leather, and the tailoring allows me to make use of the leather, right? So I should probably be using that word. However, if the economy on the server looks like I can make a lot more money with herbalism, which is very likely, it might be better to keep the herbalism. But the which is the oh, I haven't actually spent this point. Anyway, that I could have done that before. Anyways, which is why the original plan is to drop the herbalism. But as I mentioned, I am going to level the herbalism to 300 before I drop it for this particular reason. Because I wanna leave the option open of keeping the herbalism at level 60. And I want to have a look at the economy state. Because the thing is, once I drop the herbalism, and then if I suddenly cannot make money with the herbalism to fund the skins, the leather, for whatever reason, if the economy gets completely screwed for some reason or another, then leveling the skinning from 1 to 300 again is not going to be all that, feasible. It's not going to be a good use of my time at level 60. Not at all. Granted, everybody needs herbs much more than they need leather at level 60, so likely the demand for, the demand curve for leather is going to look much smaller than the demand curve for herbs, but the supply curve for demand is much higher than the supply curve for the various herbs. Because if you look at the amount of herbs needed to make a single flask, you need 30 of a specific herb, right, to make a single flask. So essentially the demand schedule is going to shift a whole heck of a lot between weekdays as well for herbs and so on. Because there is more raiding on weekends, right? So the demand schedule, as in the shift in the demand curve, happens much more commonly on Thursday, Friday, right? Because that's when people are like, hey, I actually need my flasks for the raids on the weekend. I need to buy them now, and suddenly there is much bigger shift in demand for various herbs. Whereas leather don't exactly have like stuff where you make it and then you use it every weekend for a raid. Other than the gear, obviously, but the gear you only just make once. No consumables, that's the wording, really. Anyway, but that is the generic plan I have, of like, the self-sufficient plan is to drop the herbalism, but I'm definitely leveling it to 300 first, make money out of it, and have a look at the economic state. And the other reason, the other big argument for holding on to the herbalism over the skinning for making money is because I am going to swap to a healing spec at level 60, right? So grinding monsters for the leather at level 60 is probably not all that fun. Whereas I can just ignore most of the mobs and I can wander around and pick herbs, you know, without needing to kill things. There is something to be said about the, however, about the competition on the two fronts, though. And this is something I do also have to take into account. Like, how many other people are there to try and compete with for herbalism nodes, as opposed to me just wandering into a one location where I know, okay, all of these creatures here, all of these beasts here, drop rugged leather when I skin them. There is nobody there. I can just kill all of them, skin them, get a bunch of rugged leather, because I create my own gathering node. Whereas for you know, competition on herbalism, I have to actually, you know, very likely compete against other people for the herbalism nodes. So there is that I need to also take into account, which is one of the reasons I am definitely leveling the herbalism to 300 before I consider dropping it. Because that doing that allows me to see, okay, how much competition is there right now for these herbs. To be honest though, the way I'm doing this stuff is it's quite likely that my herbalism is 300 before I hit level 60, because I am, as you can see, I'm wandering around in circles and killing things. I'm probably picking up the occasional herb as well, so there is that. It's like while I do this grinding thing. So what is that? 1.5 hours to a level up? But yeah, that is not bad. That is not bad at all. Still over 100,000 rested XP. Fantastic. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Okay. Redo the inner fire. Not that the like the inner fire has been any use for this actual grinding, but just in case I get an ad. And as I mentioned earlier, with the wood pole grinding and whatnot, it's kind of easy to get ads when you are grinding humanoids in like humanoid camps and whatnot. Whereas these things, I really have no threat of actually getting an ad. Just a sec. Right. Oh yeah, I still can't pick up this sungrass, right? Because I am 228 instead of 230. Yeah, a few levels to go, and then I am at the halfway point or so to level 60. Actually, I don't remember the numbers exactly. I think I did those at some point. Maybe I might if I dig up I may even have find the actual file from on an external drive somewhere from the vanilla World of Warcraft days. Where I did the math of like, okay, what is the like XP wise, not your playtime wise, but the XP wise, just the raw number. Like, what is the halfway point between levels 1 to 60? Because the amount of XP you need for each level goes up. So the halfway point is not level 30. That is just the, you know, numerical halfway point is between level 30 and 31, obviously. It's 30 and a half, obviously, being the actual average. The halfway point itself. But XP wise, I think it was something like level 30, not 30, level 47, I think it was. For this, somewhere between 44 and 47, I think. Somewhere around there. No, had to be about level 44, XP wise, I think. Anyway, it's kind of amusing. Can't remember the exact numbers right now, but I think it was. I do believe it was somewhere between levels 44 and 47. Like, it definitely started around the level 45 mark. I guess you could argue that it's somewhere there. And then you have done the enough XP to be like halfway done. And then you need to do the same amount of XP still to get to level 60. Oh yeah, I am about halfway to the level up even. Fantastic. Thinking I'm gonna go this way and see if I can find a couple of herbs over here to pick up and the power word fortitude is absolutely unnecessary when you're just grinding. By the way, it's like it doesn't do anything for me when I am just grinding like this. Absolutely does nothing. Because it was like this plus 300 something health, completely and utterly useless. Because I am taking like almost no health damage whatsoever. So whatever's. And I was like, why not? Let's just leave it on. Let us just leave it on. I'm thinking this recording goes on for another like 15 minutes or so, and then I have to do a couple other things. So I'm going to end it there. I've done about half of this level. Got rid of some of my rested XP. We'll return and do more grinding. Get the level 43 next time. Hopefully I will have the time to actually, you know, record the whole thing. Might end up being in such a fashion that I have like short amounts of time to play again, so I might end up doing that level without actually recording it, where it's like, hey, I have 20 minutes of time, let's go grind some wolves for 20 minutes and then not record like 20-minute sessions. It's probably a good way to go about things. Because I honestly don't want to put up like 20-minute grind videos. Like, completely and utterly pointless. I will do like videos of the actual like in-game instances and all of that stuff once I get there. But for now, like if I'm just doing this sort of a grind video, I want it to be at least an hour. At least an hour and an hour and a half. The dungeon runs are a separate thing, obviously. Like those were just, hey, this is just the dungeon. Whether it takes takes half an hour or an hour and a half, didn't matter. I was like, do those actual dungeon runs and such. Because the thing is, what I figure people can use these for is background noise. Sort of the way I use various other like other things as a background noise myself when I'm studying, when I'm doing a bunch of other stuff which doesn't require me to you know, really care about the like audio levels for other things. So I listen to something else for you know, for background noise essentially. And that's what I am thinking these grind, like couple-hour grind videos should be for. Like if you are really there is some actual discussion from you know, actual mechanics and all of that here and there in these ones, but in all honesty, the like mainly this is just me grinding mobs and possibly talking. Well, possibly not talking at all, and more likely talking some completely useless, meaningless crap. What do you look at that? So much stuff. Agility, intellect. It's probably vendor trash. I mean, we can try and see about selling that, but it's probably vendor trash. Yeah, that we might be able to sell, actually. Turtle scale gloves. Interesting. White recipe drop. Not something I usually see. I mean, look at this. This should be a very nice amount of money out of all of this grinding. Me like it. Like it a lot. Alright, another gold thorn. That should hopefully get me to 229. And then I hopefully find one more to get 230 so I can pick up the sungrass. Yeah, I should grind some humanoids for getting some mage view cloth. So I can get this mage view bandage stuff done while I am leveling as well. Yeah, this probably doesn't give me a skill up because it's green. Oh, it did. 229. Fantastic. Fantastic. That is real good. Yeah, those turtle scale gloves are a little wonky. As in the recipe. And also I get a whole heck of a lot of meat again. Which I can hold on to. Yeah, this is why I like beasts. I can just pull them from on top of each other and then it's like, hey, who cares? Let's just, you know, let them fight each other and all of that. I really like grinding beasts for this particular reason. Humanoids get all mad when somebody kills their friends. These things don't care. They'll probably just come and eat the corpse I've just left behind. Except I don't leave behind corpses because I'm skinning them. And apparently skinning them also gets rid of the, you know, everything else they had in them. Taxidermy at the finest, huh? Yeah, I've gotten a couple of whispers to come and heal Cathedral, and I'm not all that interested in healing Cathedral anymore at this point. Like, there are a couple items which would be upgrades for me and whatnot from Cathedral, but in all honesty, I don't bloody think so. Because the XP wouldn't be all that good at this point, and I would be going there for just for the gear, and if I don't get the gear, I might just as well grind, you know? Because I don't like the gear. Just because I am not using the best possible gear for leveling doesn't matter to me. The gear starts to matter to me at level 60, when it's like, okay, now I really need to, well, don't need to, but what I really want to start looking for something which is actually useful and usable gear. Alright. Very nice, 55% in the level. Ooh, very good. Rested XP is pretty dang nice, actually. That looks like something we can use to get ourselves to 230. That would be perfect. Yeah, I mean, look at the amount of meat I have gotten so far from this. This will help me a lot, because I'm going to save all of this. This will help me a lot to get towards the 300 cooking. Like, a lot. I could obviously do fishing and cooking, which is something I am considering doing, because 230 herbal is fantastic, because the best mana recovery food comes from fish. As in, it's food which gives a mana regeneration buff from the well-fed effect of it. So that's probably what I do need to level fishing for that particular reason. However, having all of this meat around will allow me to very nicely use the meat in between as well. Like, use fishing to get to a certain skill level, and then there is like, hey, I have a bunch of meat at this skill level. Let's use the meat as well to get to the next step and stage and so on. It's always nice. And probably I am probably saving the lower level foods I cook, as in the lower level stuff which has well-fed effects. I'm probably saving it for alts for their dungeon runs, or using them for dungeons where I don't need the better food. For example, if I end up at level 60, if I end up running like Sunken Temple over Blackrock Depths and such, or even possibly Solomon's and Stratholm as well, where I don't really need the high-end food, which probably is saved more for the raids, then just use something lower level to get a little bit of a spirit buff. I mean, I do still have like a few of the Striders too around, which gives +4 stamina and spirit. So there is that. There is that. Probably slaughter this one more wolf, then I'm gonna go and pick up the sungrass, and then go and sell, and then this ends there, I think. I mean, I got well, almost 59% to a level up. Or well, 59% through this level. Which is to say that next time I hopefully can get this level, or I may more likely might end up leveling between you know, without recording it. We will see, like, if I find the time to actually do a proper, like, 1.5 to 2 hour recording session. Hopefully I will. Alright, let's go grab the sungrass if it's still over there. Because, damn, this is good amount of money. Oh, guess we are killing one more wolf on the way. Wolves! Give me a more leather to sell. Yep, it is still here. Fantastic. Okay, I guess I need to kill the dang bear out of the way. We can pick it up. Bear is standing right on top of it. Don't path into me. Dang you. Oh nice, I can pick up sungrass now. That is real good. More things I can herb up means more things I can, you know, as in faster leveling of the skill. 2, 3, 1. Alright. Okay then. Yeah, let's sell, and then this is pretty much done here, huh? Let's go sell to the person who can also repair my stuff in the same go. Where are you? Here you are. Yeah, you're... whatever. So, I have 30 gold, 33 silver when I start selling this stuff.
What brings you here?
34 gold, 75 silver, so that's 1 gold and 40 silver. Wicked Claw. Yeah, vendor that. $38 gold, 6 silver. Seriously? Well, after I do that, 37 gold. So basically 4.5 gold. And a lot of it came from all the leather I just skinned. Just fantastic. Now I'm gonna wander off into the inn. I'm gonna log out there. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was a good background noise for whatever else you were doing. And I will see you folks another time with more World of Warcraft Classic and stuff.